Alright, welcome back to the Blowout Show. Today we're getting into it. We're talking about Bobby Shmurda's cancelled tour. Only 10 tickets sold per city. There's a lot more to this than just numbers. And he's out here on Instagram kind of just half apologizing to his fans while also low-key blaming his promoters. Now I get it. If things go left, it's easy to point the finger, but let's break this down. Look. If you're selling only 10 tickets per city, then there's a problem. I don't care how many followers you got on Instagram. Bobby's sitting at 5 million followers right now. By the way, it doesn't matter if people are just watching from the sidelines. You can have 5 million followers, but if they're not pulling up to your shows, you're not in business. The promoters that Bobby called out basically clapped back, saying, let's be clear, the tour was cancelled because the ticket sales were 10 per city. That's not viable. No matter the artist or the budget. Brutal but honest, the numbers don't lie. Here's the real issue. Bobby Shmurda came up with that street credibility. He was that hot ninja, the guy with the Shmurda dance, the one who went to jail and didn't snitch, a hero to the streets. But the thing is, street cred doesn't always translate to ticket sales. When Bobby was out here wilding in the streets doing his thing, he had the whole world watching. But after 7 years behind bars, the world moved on and Bobby came out a different man. He's not moving like that anymore. And honestly, the industry and his fan base, maybe they just lost interest. Here's where it gets deeper. It seems like the industry only backs you when you're living a certain narrative. The moment you step away from that negative self-destructive path, they're not as interested in your story. They love the chaos, the drama, the controversy. But if you clean up your act, then suddenly you're not as marketable. Think about it. They'll support you when you're out here making self-snitching music, talking about catching bodies and terrorizing your block. But the second you try to switch up, focus on your music, and actually grow as a person, it's crickets.
RUBYREUBS.
And let's talk about the fans for a second. Fans can be loyal, but they're quick to move on. They loved Bobby when he was the young kid with the viral dance. But now he's trying to mature and make real music. They're not as interested. Fans want the character, not the human. It's harsh, but it's true. So what's the lesson here? Reinvention is risky. Bobby tried to evolve, but the industry isn't built to support that growth, and neither are many of his fans. If you come up on a certain energy, it's hard to change that narrative. So Bobby, if you're watching this, respect for standing tall, doing your time and keeping it real. But if you're trying to reinvent yourself, you've got to go all in and find a new audience, because the old one might not be coming with you. Alright, that's it for today's episode. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Bobby Shmurda being blackballed? Or is this just a case of fans moving on? Hit that like button, subscribe, and share for more real talk. You know what time it is.
RUBYREUBS.